Last time we went to Uptown. Let's go downtown for a bit.
Alright. So you're playing righteous music. Comrade Black does not look very happy.
The professor must be getting a bit seasick on that thing if he...
Oh, okay. Okay, I was wondering where you were. You sound like you just disappeared there for a moment.
I was chilling in the lack of tunes.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed there's not really any music right now.
Of course not. We haven't painted anything yet.
I see the Inca Empire are sporting airbrushes.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy. Well, airbrush is full of ink. I don't think that's very good for the airbrush. It's so desolate without the music.
So, on my streak from last time, I'm just gonna say I tried to 100% this level, and I think I was a little bit too successful last time, is what I'll say right now.
You picked a level that you knew very well. Oh wow, those cars are kind of in the way.
And unfortunately, Zip, while he's a very audacious fellow trying to get us in this straight line here, of course, because we wouldn't figure this out ourselves, of course. It's a bit annoying since we have to go back to actually get a challenge mission, so we're sort of heading in the wrong way just a bit.
Oh wow, that's...
This is slightly annoying.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there.
And also, if you want 100% this level, really you have to do all of the painting of the bridge now, because otherwise it's a long trek back from the beginning, and you're not going to have time from it by the end. This is a giant level.
Oh wow. Okay, well, at least we're starting to get some music in the world now.
I think that speech bubble's a bit messed up.
Yeah, I just noticed where the, yeah.
I accidentally fell off the thing and was still under the trigger.
Oh well, made for some amusing video.
So here we have straight off the heels of Z jumping, we have these monorail trails, which basically you target with Z, just like the paint bots, and it may look like you bounce a bit, but you stick right on them.
Alright, I was gonna mention that I thought I saw a Z symbol on it. So it's like locking onto the symbol. Hey, the blob, gravity. There we go.
One interesting thing about challenge missions is that they don't actually show you that whole animation that you beat the challenge mission until you hit the ground. Or you hit some solid object. So you can actually do a lot of fun with that if you can manage to juggle yourself in the air after beating a challenge. And here I am going back and trying to paint everything I can simply because I won't have time for it later, thinking that I'd have fun 100% in this game.
Except for that purple car just shoving you away. Alright, so we got some more funk going on. Oh, I like that. Always like some funk.
There is no bad song on this soundtrack.
I have not heard anything bad yet, so I will
There may
take
be
your
one
word
or
for
two
it.
that you don't like that much, but there's nothing atrocious.
No. It's not like one is going to stick out like a sore thumb because it's done in MIDI.
Or something like that, or it's going to have some weird, quirky lyrics, or it's going to be some like, non-fitting genre, so to speak.
Well, I guess if you really don't like jazz, then... Whoa.
Yeah, I decided to speed up a little bit here because I'm going to be doing some trekking. There is a style that we need to get, and the way we get it is by riding the monorail all the way to the end.
Alright. I think this is the level you demoed on...
I may have.
On a stream once.
I may have. I did a lot of things with you when I was showing you this game, contemplating let's playing it.
Well, I think it's a good choice.
Of course it is. Disappointingly, then, I remember you saying that you couldn't actually hear the audio for some reason.
Well, no, it's because if I turned on the audio, I would hear myself over the stream.
I thought we fixed that at some point.
I remember we tried to fix that at some point, but it just ended up in this horrible mess.
Okay. Fair enough.
I recall it being, oh god, my ears, what are you doing, Dish? All of the static and loud noises, to the point where I had to lower Skype volume.
That's Skype's fault, that wasn't my fault.
Well, you were the one who were fiddling with settings and hoping to get things to work, but, you know, fair enough, it was kind of like a joint effort anyways. It's not like nobody said that they didn't want to help.
Okay, enough about technical issues and technical difficulties. Let's talk about the game for once.
Alright.
These are heavy inkies, and actually I'm going to do a bit more of some interesting collecting. I'm just going to say, I make this game look slightly easy, not to brag, but some of these jumps, like the ones with the billboards are from before, not that easy. I got really lucky in some of these. Like this one here.
Yeah, I remember when you were streaming this, you basically spent about 5 minutes at that one jump to get that billboard.
I mean, you get better as you go along. I hadn't even beaten that level at this point.
No. I remember they were like, should we take one more level? Yeah, sure, let's take one more level, and then this was the level you took. I'm doing it again. I'm doing that annoying thing where I'm kind of bobbing my head to the music. Ah, you unlocked the gate. Excellent.
That is way in the future. This level is huge. Amazingly huge.
Perhaps it's not... Well, I recall it's fairly big, but this is, again, one of those cases where they make the level look bigger than it actually is.
And it's not just that. No, this level is actually huge.
Okay, I just don't recall it being huge. I recall it being large, you know, big, but...
No, this is a big level. It I think would go for like third biggest in the game, maybe out of 10 or so. This is a big level. Oh, and she wanted to paint the things yellow, but we already did that.
Yeah,
cool.
Excellent.
Guess I have some weird psychosis or something.
Sequence breaking. I wouldn't call that psychosis, though.
I don't know what I was going for with that word. I think I was going for psychic and decided to fancy it up and get it wrong.
Is that burners?
They call them hot plates. They're just ranges.
Yeah. Well, I guess you also call them burners, but yeah. I guess there's a lot of names for them.
They're fire. They hurt. That's all you need to know. These buttons will deactivate them for a short amount of time, which you can hear ticking.
Well, paint tends to dry when it's not wet, so, you know, I guess that would be very bad for paint-based beings, or life forms, I should say. So, I know it's a really weird question, but would all these paint-based beings be toxic or non-toxic paints?
Well, this is, I mean, depends on how you determine toxicity. Materials aren't always toxic to things, you know, it's toxic to a specific system. Humans, their bodies are toxic to certain things that other, even like mammals and other biological creatures aren't toxic to. So, I mean, what do you mean? You mean like Are they
No,
toxic
just,
to
I'm
the
just thinking
inkies,
the non-toxic type of paint to, well, general living beings, or the kind you don't want to inhale because, oh god, this is terrible.
Yeah, they're probably made out of toxic paint.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the Blob is. The rest of the things aren't really toxic, they're just beings. The Blob is the only thing made out of paint in this game.
Okay.
We are painting the rest of the world, but nothing else is really made out of paint like we are.
Oh, I thought the gradients and the animals were kind of made of paint. Okay.
They're just silicon-based life, like any other form. Even the rest of the core
silicon-based life.
Sorry, not silicon-based life. I meant carbon-based
I was
life.
going to correct you there, because that would be carbon.
I apologize. I've been reading too much of the Disappearing Spoon lately.
Well, silicon-based life is possible considering how the
It's
structure
not.
of silicon is.
It's,
no, it's like it is conceived that it might be possible somewhere.
It is conceived. Yes,
just because of the structure of it.
There's a great chapter in the Disappearing Spoon about this. Go read that book. It's not a bad book, by the way.
Okay. Well, what's it about?
The elements, the periodic table of elements, and their story, and they discuss silicon-based life and why it's not that viable.
Well, it's not that viable, but in theory, maybe somewhere out there it is.
And why it's relatively not viable compared to carbon.
Yeah.
And why it's very unlikely that we'll find another form of we'll find a form of silicon-based life. I mean, the theory is that since it's the carbon is very versatile because it has 4 valence electrons, which means that it's 4 free, which means it can make long chains of carbon. And silicon, again, since it's directly under carbon, means that it, again, has 4 valence electrons. But they get into why, and at least in the book author in the book describes why silicon-based life is not approachable as a thing, if you will.
At least not on this planet and with what we know.
No, I mean across the entire universe. It's probably it may happen somewhere.
Then you get into crazy theories where that in like we live in the Milky Way, and they theorize that other galaxies work in different ways. Like they have a completely different set of physics, so things could work completely different.
That's
but,
universes, not galaxies.
Sorry,
all galaxies
universes,
in this
you.
universe abide by the same laws of physics.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that wouldn't really make sense.
No,
Somewhere over there, 50 meters in space is 50 meters. Some
50
amount
meters
of
in space? Yeah, wow, that's really close. I wonder why aliens haven't found us yet.